What's good, y'all? I'm Nick.
I'm Lawrence.
We saw Megan. I wanted to call it Chucky, but
Bride of Chucky.
let's just jump into it. What you think?
Yeah. So, also, I know it's been a couple weeks since we've been off. You know what I mean? Christmas holiday. New Year's.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you for supporting the channel. We got big goals this year. But back to the movie. So I thought the movie was great. You know what I mean? I thought it was a very good movie actually. What I liked about it was I liked her artificial intelligence, how she gained intelligence each and every, like basically each and every time she had an interaction with somebody, she was getting smarter. She basically built her own self. Like she even told her creator, like the lady, you know what I mean? Like, hey, listen, like you're kind of an idiot. You know what I mean? I had to do everything myself to get where I'm at.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like the story was great. You know what I mean? Like she really felt like she had to protect the little girl. And she went by any means necessary to protect this little girl. And I do mean any means necessary, killing people.
You throwing me with the great.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was great.
I thought it was great. I very, very enjoyed this movie.
It was cool. For me, I felt like I walked into it with the expectations of Chucky. I guess I shouldn't have did that, but I'm thinking Chucky. First, I was mad they weren't really going too crazy with like the blood and all that. I'm like, all right, but I loved how the story was with the AI. Like you said, she continued to get smart over and over again. But for me, it was funny. Like the whole movie was funny.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a comedy, and it wasn't more of a horror.
Oh, I think I saw Thrills and Chills on the title, so I'm thinking
AMC puts Thrills and Chills ain't when there's death.
Right. It was hilarious. I mean, I enjoyed it from just a laughing point, because when she first got the doll, everybody would see it. It was, oh shit. It was like, that's real? And like they did really good with like a real life situation. Because in real life, if you see a doll like that, what you gonna do? Oh, and you're gonna be like, yo, what's going on? She's walking around, everybody's looking like, bro. And then she's like the therapist. That's when it started getting funny. Because the therapist, she was like, just play with the toys. And you can tell that she didn't want to be a mother, but she kind of had to step in that role for the girl. But everything was just funny to me. Like how, I don't know, it just felt like a funny movie to me. It felt funny.
That's what it was.
It was supposed to be funny?
Yes. People were laughing. I'm not sure movie you went to, but our movie theater was mostly packed. People were laughing left and right. It was a lot of things that was going on in the movie was funny.
I was the only one that was laughing.
Well, in my movie theater, B can attest, people were laughing left and right. Left and right, people were laughing in the movie theater. They thought it was hilarious. They thought it was funny. Her breaking out in song like it's a musical numerous of times. Yeah, that was funny.
Like that. But I thought it took too long for her to turn up. Like, does that make sense? It was just, the character development was good with the little girl. She lost her parents. But I think it took, 45 minutes for her to actually kill somebody?
Well, you have to have that slow build, because you have to have that slow build to really get into the character development. She has to basically listen to her maker at first, and then when she realizes that her maker, in her mind, isn't good enough to be her maker, that's when she started realizing, hey, look.
She did say, she said, okay, you won't be my primary user anymore. So that's where that kind of flipped. Because
she was not. Well, her primary user was always a little girl. She was supposed to be the secondary user.
No. It was at first it was the maker. Because you remember, she says, your goal is to protect her, or you're supposed to focus on her. And she was like, Megan was like, okay, switching primary user. And then after that switch, that's when she was like, all right, I'm not listening to you. And she started overriding everything. You see what I'm saying? Because at first Megan was strictly listening to like the maker. And then once that primary user switched, because you had Megan was like, she's like, eat your hot dog. And Megan's like ignoring her. And then she like shut down. And then she told Megan to turn back on. You see how it just...
Ignore? What are you talking about?
So
she never told her to ignore her. She would tell Megan. Megan would tell the little girl to basically. She was like her mother. Like, hey, go wash your hands. Go flush the toilet. Go eat your food. Eat your vegetables, stuff like that, or whatnot. And then after a while, she started not listening to her anymore.
Exactly.
Because basically the reason she stopped listening to her was, I mean, listen, I'm starting to see things. I'm starting to turn up. I'm starting to see, hey, listen, you know what I mean? My primary job, like you said, was to protect this little girl and to watch over a little girl. You're not doing your job as her guardian. So now I have to basically take over everything because you're not listening.
Now, I did like, you just made me think of something. I did like when, I can't remember the girl that was the coding team, the girl.
Yeah.
She said, so if Megan's going to be doing all these little things, what are the parents supposed to do?
Exactly.
And I was like, that's a good question.
Nothing.
That's the best question to ask because they're like, oh, let's sell this. It's ideal for her because she didn't want to take care of the little girl. But I'm not buying my daughter that doll.
Well, it wasn't that she doesn't want to take care of the little girl. It was really, you got to think about it. What's it really about? The cash, the money. I need to get this in. I need to make this money. This is a $10,000 project right now. Every single doll you sell, every Megan you sell is now you're getting $10,000. So she wasn't looking at it like that until she realized, oh shit, Megan's killing motherfuckers left and right.
Now, Megan was...
Now, I don't know if you agree, but I personally thought that the first kill of the little boy in the forest was justified. I don't think she actually, what I mean by that is, I don't think she actually killed him. He ran into the street.
No, they try to, you're right. They try to make it seem like she killed him.
But she did not.
But she didn't. Now, when she was pulling his ears out, that was funny.
I love that.
I was laughing. But I liked how, we got to rewind when they first introduced the little boy. And the mom's like, yeah, that's my son over there. He's like,
fuck you.
Yeah, I was like, bro.
Fuck you, Karen.
I was like, bro, that's so typical, bro. I was like, oh my God. Nah, bro. My kid ain't talking to me like that.
That's typical. No. That's typical of certain.
Yeah. We're just gonna leave that there.
Yeah, we'll leave that there.
But that was funny.
My mom was like,
and she I thought some nasty shit was about to happen because when he got on top of the doll and he took the shoes off.
Oh, you thought it was gonna be some? He's gonna like rape her?
Yeah, I'm like, bro, he about to.
Sorry, yes.
I'm thinking he about to be a creep, but nah, she. Ear don't really pull back that hard. Like ear is gonna come.
Yeah,
I let it go because it's a movie, but when he got up running, he got clipped. I was like, and that's when the movie. I was like, all right, I'm starting to like this.
I just felt like that. Like I feel like that wasn't really her fault, like Megan's fault.
No,
I felt like the first thing was with the dog, the neighbor and the dog. That was the first real signs of like, okay, this is gonna be getting brutal.
The dog was funny.
The dog was funny.
I know. Oh no! It was the look that Megan was giving. So she like looking out the window, and the neighbor was like, "My dog isn't going on your side." And then when the dog bit the girl. Megan, she looked at the owner. She was like, and she kind of sized up, and the owner was like, "What?"
But the owner was the first one to catch on.
The
owner was the first one to catch on before anybody that doll had something to do with it. She knew about Megan. She knew. Like everybody else, just was like, "There's no way the doll could do that. There's no way." But that neighbor, it's always the older, wise, older lady.
It's that other creature she got in there.
She already knew. She was like, oh, I know Megan has something to do with that.
And Megan, when they had the first, I guess the trial run or what they wanted to call it, like I can't remember what they called it, but they had the little girl come in the room and they just wanted to display it for them.
When she cried?
Yeah, when she was crying and Megan came over, I was like, bro, see, this is clearly why you can't have nothing like this in real life. Because that right there was just scary because it's taking over like everything. Like the parents were gone and the kids were just like, that's it. You don't need the parents. She started getting the attachment. And I knew right then, oh, she's done. She started flipping out when she couldn't have Megan. She's like,
she did flip out.
When she slapped them
because it's literally her best friend. Mm-hmm. And Megan literally gave her everything she wanted. See, with parents, there's a connection where
Yeah.
you know I'm the parent. I'm gonna put you in place.
And I'm not about to get what
I'm not gonna get what I want. But Megan was giving her everything she wanted, even as a best friend. Best friends fight. Her and Megan never fought. Megan gave her whatever she wanted when she wanted. And also, the reason I think this movie was great was because of how unique it was. Right? When you go into the movie, right? And I was like, I went to the movie. Okay, it's probably gonna be similar to Chucky, but it's not, right? And Chucky wasn't quote unquote created, right?
Fair.
Like a person's soul body went into Chucky to make Chucky. Here, Megan was created, right? And she was getting her own analysis, getting her own like artificial intelligence throughout the movie. Every single day, she was getting more intelligent and gaining more confidence and knowing what's going on here.
But I guess the cliche part of it is it's these same storylines with robots, and we know the story. The robot is never gonna just be like what we want it to be. It's always going to evolve, get smarter, and eventually kill us. You know what I mean? That's the same storyline.
Like it's kind of like iRobot.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like we know, the robots are gonna turn on you at the end.
And I guess getting to the end of the movie, right? I don't know if you've seen this movie as a child. It was on Disney Channel. It looks like that's what they're going with part 2 here. Smart House.
Yes.
It looks like that's where they're going at the end of the movie, where we're going to have a Smart House type of feel for Megan number 2, because obviously I
don't want to.
Well, there's going to be a sequel.
Yeah, when I saw it went to the Alexis type thing, I was like, I don't really need it to. I can just run off my imagination. I'm fine. How'd you feel about the kills with the
ones in the elevator?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish they would have shown us.
That's what I'm saying.
I wish they would have shown us. That's how I feel about kills. Don't open up the don't open up the elevator and then show me the blood and going up.
They show him get stabbed.
They show him get stabbed, but the other one they didn't show her finishing the job.
But that's what annoyed me. Like I wanted rated R, and I was just like, when I saw it was PG-13, I was like,
they have a hard time with this rated R stuff. Like they really have a hard time giving us the rated R.
Financial.
Yeah, it is finances, and
everybody can't go see rated R.
It's hard to sell because children probably still want to see this.
Now I do. I like the kills. I like the movie. Like I said, great is pretty. That's a strong word to me. Like good is it was cool. It was good. If I had to rate it, I'd say I gave it like anywhere 6.5 to 7. Like that's why I stuck with it.
Well, folks, you're finally gonna get us to disagree a little bit because I'm gonna stick with great. It's a solid 8 for me because of the uniqueness of the movie. I like how it was different from what I thought it was gonna be, and honestly, the story was a very good story. At the end of the day, is it one of the same stories that you've seen? Sure, but it went a different way to get there. So I can appreciate how they were different with it and how they basically show me a different way of a robotic analysis, to say the least. But yeah, I'm gonna go 8. It was a solid movie. I didn't see really many problems with it at all.
No, it wasn't no problems. The thing that does push it from 6.5 to 7 for me is that question that she asked. So what if you create these dolls? What are you gonna do when they're just doing all that? What are the parents gonna do? So that I like that question because that was like the first. It felt real. It was like, okay, boom, that's a real life question, and it was in the movie. Because sometimes in movies it's like a fantasy, but some movies will give you a question or a thought that you can apply to real life. So that's what pushes it to a 7 for me, which is still good. But
what would have pushed it higher for me to like a 10 if they would have just done this? If they would have actually built the dolls, and then that would have been the sequel, and we would have had tons of Megan dolls already out. Now you're talking like, okay, now I'm interested to see where we're gonna go with all this. Now you have a whole army, and that would have been something I would have liked to see. But it's still a good movie. But I thought maybe if you're gonna do a sequel, that's the way I would have pushed the sequel, of having all the dolls be built, stuff like that, and then we'll see what happens.
Not trying to go too long, but and it felt simple too. Like from a production standpoint, it had 2 locations, like the house, the home, and so I don't want to say low budget because that's not I'm not saying low budget as that's what made it bad. I'm just saying that was like they made a low budget film that was good. You know, most low budget films we see Tubi out here wilding. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, there wasn't many different locations. You're right about that. It was the office and the house for the most part, and the woods. So that's pretty simple. Yeah, that's pretty simple for sure.
So they did good. They managed their margin profits. All right, that's too far, but
Hey, they gonna make their budget. They gonna make a lot of money back from this movie.
I guess
It's already doing
that's
well.
what I'm trying to say. No.
Yeah, it's gonna do very well money wise for sure. Gonna make his money back probably times 2.
But let's close it out.
All right, yeah, we'll be back. Let's say what's real.